a point, a line in the sand. It doesn't really matter. Because it's your money at risk, and you're going to have to come to the point of saying, okay, I'm willing to take this trade based on what I'm seeing, what it's doing. And the most important aspect of that is, where am I wrong? And when you're wrong, get out. As simple as that sounds, that is the hardest thing in the world for traders to do. And I can tell you this from past, without trading, without stops and stuff, it will bite you in the butt, and you'll lose way more money than you'll make. So I'm trying to tell you, don't do that, because you can get out of a trade and take $200 or $300 loss out of it. That's fine. That's pretty easy to make up. But when you're down $1,000, $2,000, if you're a good trader, that means you can make it up, but it's going to take you maybe another week. And that just screws up your whole month. So then the question is, why do you want to do that? When you put on a trade, that is your factory to make you money. And so if your factory's not making you money, what do? You shut that factory down. You only crank it up to make money. And so if you're in a bad trade, good trades come along left and right, and you can't take them because you're in the opposite direction of the wrong trade, or you don't have enough capital to dig yourself out of a hole, and which is not a good thing to be doing, but we do it. And there's times that I've hit the end of my thing, says, look, I have no more money. I'm either going to have to take a loss, and this market's going to have to change. A lot of times I'm lucky enough, it starts changing, and it allows me to start working my way back out of the hole, but not always. And I've been caught on both sides of this thing. And it's pure stupidity on my part. And I don't have anybody to blame. I can't say, well, Saul told me to do this. No, I'm doing this on my own, just like you're doing yours on your own. And that's the way it needs to be, because you need to figure out how to do this. And, when I put out these numbers, I am cautiously optimistic based on what I'm seeing. But also, we have nothing to base this on in the back, because we've never been here before. This is all new nosebleed territories. So far, I'm real pleased with these areas that I'm kicking out and how they're working, because as you can see, that 30 just chewed up and down that 30. So that gave, could I use 31 or 32? Yeah, I could have, but I also have 35 and 36 up there, and 37. So they're all stacked in there together. So you just have to take the best probability that you think is going to work. And that's what we're doing. But my whole point in all this ranting and raving and rambling here, and I've thought about this a lot. I said, because you want to learn how to trade, there's 50,000 ways to do this. And, but the thing about it is, no matter which one you choose, you're going to have to learn how to do it. And that's where the rub comes in at. It's just most people, they start into it and they think they understand it, and they jump in and it runs over them, and this doesn't work. This doesn't work. Well, if you're going to make that decision, do it at least, do it on 100 trades. Don't do it on 10 or 25. If you took 10 trades in a row and you lost on all 10 of them, that ought to tell you something right then. You're not doing something correctly, or you're not seeing something. I think we have a rule in the room. When I first started with Saul, he said, look, if you're trading and you have 3 bad trades in a row, he said, whatever we're doing is not working for today. And that's true. We never know how these markets, we could have hit that 30, meandered around a little bit, and shot on up to 50. We don't know these things. It's just we don't. These are areas of probabilities that we should be able to scalp a little bit of money at it, and that's what we're here to do, is to scalp. We're not here to hit home runs. And I was telling everybody yesterday, I said, even when I have a great day, if I had a 30-point day, and I go back and I look at my trade performance, my average trade's not but about 100 and something bucks. So, my highest trade might have been 400, but on average, I'm only looking at 100, 150 bucks. So, you take that 100 and you keep doing 2 points, and you wait and you do another 2 points, and you do another 2 points. And, at the end of the day, you can capture 6, 8, 10, 12 points. Today is really and truly, as far as days go, it's been our slow day. Now, I've only got us down for 3.5 points, and one was a level trade up there, and the other one was a pivot trade. Uh, there was a blue band trade in there. You could have took it. You'd have made a little bit off of it. And you could have put that blue band trade in at 27 and still not got stopped out and made money on the trade. So the blue band trade worked. The pivot trade worked. And sometimes they're back to back like that. And you have to make up your mind: am I going to take both of them, or am I going to take one of them? And look, we ran right back up to that 31.50, that 30 area. So I have no idea where it's going now. I know that 30.50 is an interesting spot. Do I want to get long right here? No. But if we were to go down, it's going to go on up there and touch it right now. Uh, so I see these things, and sometimes they happen real fast like this, and other times, I may have to sit in it for an hour. I'm going, now, if it were to shoot down, then I would look for a spot to go back up to it. But as it stands right now, we're just kind of flatline. And we can only make what the market gives us. We can't manufacture trades. You can try, but it gets very costly. Uh, the best advice that I could give you from one trader to the next is learn to wait and learn and throw the idea out. I'm going to miss a trade. I'm going to miss a trade. That's okay. These trades are like streetcars. There'll be another one along in a minute. Just give it time. And if you've learned to do that, you will find out. Pat, yeah, the blue band is the middle of the Bollinger Band. That is correct. And I actually have Bollinger Bands on here, so my blue band is there. And if I highlight this right here, you'll see them. I just have them colored white. They are actually there, and I can turn them on by just clicking on that area there, and it shows them to me. Except I really don't know how to trade the outside of the Bollinger Bands. I was saying yesterday, I've got the book over there by John Bollinger, and I've never read it. Thought it was going to be a good idea, but as we train traders, and the other day when I was over there on the Discord side, they had some really interesting fellas over there, and I love to be around traders. I love to hear how other people are doing what they do, and every now and then somebody will say something, and that something will help me. It may just be some little ditty that just kind of like doesn't make sense to a lot of people. Says, hey, wait a minute, I might could use that. And so when I sit in this room and uh, I am just a fill in, but most of all, I come to this room as a trader every day, even when I'm not on the mic. Uh, just to have somebody to listen to and trade, and maybe somebody seeing something that I'm not, or saying something. And there's a lot of times Saul may be short and I'm long, and we both make money. And but usually you might want to listen to him because he's pretty sharp, and he's a, when you look back, he come from the pits. I mean, that's like the animal pits when you climb. If you've ever been to the floor of the Mercantile Exchange in Chicago, you really understand that. Man, it was something to see. I went back in about 205, and it was just kind of like you was just walking around with your jaw dropping. It just, but now the volume that is traded through the computers is so much more than what the pits could handle. That's another reason I think they shut the pits down. The pits couldn't handle the amount of volume through the electronic side of it. And now computers do what the pit did. They match up orders. But it's just, when I sit back and think about, okay, how can I impart something to other traders? And, you know, we see names on the list, but we have no idea what their experience level is. And that was something else that impressed me when I first signed up with Saul's course. He called me. And first of all, that kind of impressed me. You called me. Why are you calling me? I said, I'm a nobody. And he said, okay, what's your experience? He wanted to know what, I guess, how to teach you based on what you already know. And he told me back then, he said, look, he said, I'm not trying to take away with what I said, I've taken a lot of different courses. He says, I'm not trying to take away anything that you have learned. He said, my goal here is to make you a better trader. And I'm going, okay, I kind of like that scenario. And he says, if you've learned something someplace else and it's working for you, he said, I'd be standing on the sidelines hollering, use it, use it. And, he is that way. And it just, and if I had a problem, I could either ask it on the chat, or he'd call me if I needed to talk to him. And so that impressed me. It wasn't this thing, okay, I took it, okay, we're not talking anymore. I've already taught you. Now, if you're having problems, he'll help you. He really will. And that says to me, that says volumes, because most of the time you go in, you spend thousands of dollars, you walk in, you sit down, and there's a room full of people, and they start talking. And you say, okay, I get the gist, but it's kind of like, now I have to figure out how to make it work for me. And that's where the rub lies into. How do I make it work for me? And that is a journey that we all, as traders, have to come up with. We all have to figure that out too. I'm just interested to see if it's going to get that back to 27. Uh, so, we're trying to, I really hate giving the levels. Oh, the pits were amazing. And I asked that guy that was kind of giving us a little tour, I says, do these guys lose money? He says, well, it's nothing for him to be down $1 million at the end of the day. I'm going, oh man, how do you do that? He said, but, out of all the trading month, they had their bad days, but he said they usually make money. I don't mind. I've learned that, look, I can pick these levels. I can do this. I can trade around them. I can trade off of them. If I'm wrong, get out and let me look at it again. And so just what I just told you, then that scenario, I can pick the levels. I can trade around them. I can get out. Those right there it's freeing. It's nice to know that you can come in, and it's not that these levels are magic. It does. I don't even have to have the levels. I can just price action trade. I could trade off of trend lines. I could trade off just about moving averages and make a little money. It's just, so there's so many different ways to trade. It's not even funny. But when you find the one that fits your personality, that's another key. And you find one that you have faith in it. I mean, that's the key. You got to believe in this stuff. And if you do, you take the trade and you put your stop in. And if you're wrong, well, the trade didn't work out. Doesn't mean the trade won't work out. It just didn't work out in your time frame that you wanted it to work out in. But in a lot of opportunities, it stops you out and say, I wanted to go long at this level. Well, it's not really giving me a long. Then it's shooting way down there. And then we hit a level down there. Then you buy the level and it goes up. You make a little money on that. It kind of comes back, hangs at that level. That level's holding. So you buy it again. Then the next run is just that long run all the way up. So you just manage some money at that point. Stuff like that gives you confidence day in and day out. Because I turn this thing on and I'm trying to say, okay, what's it going to do today? I don't know what it's going to do today. That's the nice thing about it. But I'm confident enough in my abilities to figure out how to trade it. And that's key. Whether if you're over in Discord, even if you're trading somebody else's money, you got to have some way of trading it. You're going to have some kind of a system. I don't care if you buy trend line breaks, moving average breaks. If it works for you, by all means, use it. But it's so freeing when you find that system that you're comfortable with, and you start trading it, and you do it for a while. It's kind of like I walk in, I sit down, pull these numbers up. It doesn't take me long. It takes me a whole lot less time now than what it used to because my eyes and stuff are trained for it now. I know what I'm looking for, and so if you like this way that we're trading here, uh, you also have to realize, look, that we are here to scalp the market. We're not here to buy and hold or sell and hold. Even though sometimes we scalp it and we're using multiples and we're saying, look, this thing ought to go further. Where am I high? Am I at a level? Am I high enough up to where, or low enough down to where I can buy it or sell it at? And that's where these levels come in because they give you areas that we should be able to sell. Yeah. Yeah. When you don't follow your plan, it, and the thing about it is when you walk in and you trade your plan, okay, I see this, I'm at a level, I take it, I say I threw a 2 lot at it. I took and most all, if you go back and you do some research, most every one of these levels will probably 90% of the time give you at least point and a quarter, point and a half. So if you're set up at a level and you already put a point and a quarter, point and a half target, you know, that's 90% of the time you're going to get filled. But, every now and then you're going to get tagged for 2 points. That's just the way it is. But, you know, every day it hits that level and let's see. I was going back here to see how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the last week, we've had 6 or 7 level level plays, and we've had some intermediate levels. And it's like that 30 this morning. I had the 30 down, and I could have put 25, 30, 36 in a 41 and 47, but the numbers were a little bit close. And you never know how we're going to react when we open up. It could be like yesterday, it opened up and ran way on up there. So I have to give it some breathing room. So I spread the levels out. Now I'm also coming back in and say, okay, our pivot's at 25. We've got a little resistance up here at 30 and a little bit better at 36. I would have taken the 30. I did take the 30, but I was also I already had the order set at 36. So I was willing to take them both. But that's just the way I've learned to trade. And let's see, how am I using the 1 and the 5-minute charts? Do you take trades on the 1-minute chart? A lot of times, and this is probably a good example. Starting at this bar right here, this is our 940 bar, and this was one 5-minute bar right here. And say that I'm looking to get short this market here. Well, if like the 30 this morning was an area that the 30 did. Well, if I get short the 30, and let me back up a little bit because I was trading over here. If I know the 30 is there and we shot up and I'm still believing in the 27, I'm looking at the 31. So I was able to get the 31. And I was telling y'all that we should get down to 27. Well, the advantage to this 1-minute chart is it gave me, this is at 912. This was this bar right there. But, it allowed me to get in, and also had all these double tops and stuff across here with a short stop. So, but I had a target down there. So that I will enter based on what this is doing with a short stop. And the 1-minute chart, the bars are smaller. You don't have to have a 5 or 6 point stops. Frank, I've never traded tick and range. I've traded range charts. They're just too slow. It's kind of like we have to break out of a range. And I'm already in the trade. And I used to try and jump the trades. And so we know that we had a level at 30 and we got one at 36 and we only come up here to 32. Then it bounced off of it. So I'm looking at this thing at this range, said we're coming back to that right there. Then it popped back up there, and I'm going, okay, I'm still believing in my 27 because we're going to get down to 27. Well, we hit the 27, then it bounced up. I said, we did not finish filling it. So I'm looking to get short again up here. But it's given me a perspective to get short up here. My stop's right there. If it goes past that, I don't want to be in it. It's going to go up. But for right now, it gave me a nice entry to looking for at least at 27. I got out at 27 and a quarter on the second run. So, I'm going from 37 to 27. 31 to 27 and a quarter. The blue letters on a white background. I can't see I have tried with a black background on my charts. I can't see them. And I'm not a candles guy. So I just colored the charts. a candle chart, if it closes above, it's open, it's green. If it closes below, it's open, it's red. So basically, they're bars colored like candles. There's nothing there's nothing special about them. And to me, a bar chart, like I say, I learned on a bar chart, so I'm comfortable with bar charts. That's what I see. I can see the same information on this bar chart as I can see on a candle start. But if you notice, I don't keep mine bunched up. I keep mine spread apart. And a lot of times I'll even spread them apart like this. And the reason I do this is so, I can look for these areas, these doji type trades. Uh, they're just there's all different ways to do this. It's just you got to find one that you're comfortable with. But the only thing is, uh, I will use the bar charts because, like I said, I am comfortable using bar charts. Uh, I may be counting swings in here, kind of like a little. They're not Elliott wave swings. They're just okay. We went from that swing to that swing to that swing to that swing. We broke it. Then we started back up again. We broke that one. So once we break up above this, I would look to see the 36 somewhere in there. But we're at 10 o'clock. Uh, Other markets around the world are going to start shutting down. So these guys are going to have to start either deciding to hold this thing later in the day and trade after hours for them. London and Germany shuts down around 10:30. And so they got to start jockeying their markets just like ours. Their last hour in their markets gets directional, I guess, because people know that we got so many longs, we got so many shorts, and we need to wash them out and get ready for the next after hours market. So normally see we little jockeying around 10:30, and we don't know which way they're going to go with it. Um, I see the 32, and I kind of know why they're reacting at the 32, but we would just have to wait and see. I honestly don't know how to change Renko charts. I know let's see, give the folks data series. I don't even have Renko charts on my deal. I've got point and figure. Those are always. That ought to give you something to work on. Yeah. Do I have any idea on how to trade these? Not one thing. There. Frank, it told you to shut up and go long. Uh, uh, it just, you got to believe in something. It just doesn't matter what your chart you're trading. I talk to some people that are just range bar, range bar. There's nothing wrong with range bars. It's just that I didn't, we may spend an hour in a 2 point range. I'm going, nah, I ain't doing this. And I've just got comfortable doing this. So this is what I do. I come in, I don't, there's nothing new. Market's going to do its thing. And let's see, what can I tell you about this market? 28. 28 is an area that we should be coming back to. You know, when and how, I can't tell you. We got 28. We got back up to this 30-50 area. I'm just watching the chart. It's telling me that, okay, if and when we start back down, we should see that 28. Uh, 28. But as it stands right now, I know that we ought to come down to at least 30-50 area. Which would put us just about right there. That's where we're at. Well, the price action trade worked out good. We took a short at 32. We covered at 30. Yeah, we got to dig through that 29 area. We got a lot of clutter in there. But I still believe in the 28. I shorted the 32s, believing in the 28, and I took half of it off. And, as a price action play, it was 2 points. We're trading at 29. Thank you, Philip. Have a good day. It has been a slow day as far as movement goes. I've actually had only 3 trades today, and one of them was a level trade, one of them was a pivot trade, and one price action trade. Yeah, and that only netted us five and a half points. But they were good trades. We didn't get stopped out on any of them. There was other opportunities within all of this. Uh, so it's a little after 10. We're coming to the end of our morning sessions. Uh, Anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I still believe in my 28. I think that's probably a good viable target area. We're at 28.50. So if you were able to get short up here at 32, you got some decisions you're going to have to make. I'd probably pull it off a quarter point ahead. We got down there. There we go. Finally got filled. I didn't hold it to 28. I bailed a little early. That's okay. There's the 28. Now, where do we have to watch? We have to watch. The 29.50 area back to the upside. 30. Yeah, we're back to our 27 again. Imagine that. Well, if you did take the